Have you ever wondered why there's a rule that limits how long property can be tied up for future generations? This principle, the rule against perpetuity, is a cornerstone of Indian property law. In today's video, we'll unravel this rule, dive into real-life cases, and explain why it matters to you. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of this seemingly complex topic in simple terms possible. Let's get started. Before we dive into the details, here's a quick overview of what we'll cover. First, what is the rule against perpetuity? 2. The legal foundation under Indian law. 3. Exceptions to the rule. 4. Key case laws and their implications. 5. What to do if your rights are affected by perpetuity related disputes. What is the rule against perpetuity? The rule against perpetuity is a legal principle that ensures property isn't tied up indefinitely for future generations. It limits the time for which property can be transferred or controlled after the owner's death. Let's first understand what this rule means in simple terms before exploring its legal roots. The concept arises from the idea that property should remain freely transferable and not locked away for too long. According to Section 14 of the Transfer of Property Act of 1882, a property must vest within a specified period during the lifetime of existing beneficiaries plus 18 years. This rule promotes economic utility and prevents unreasonable restrictions on property ownership. Legal foundation of the rule in India. Under Indian law, the rule against perpetuity is primarily governed by Section 14 of the Transfer of Property Act of 1882. This section prohibits transferring property that will not vest for unreasonably long period. Now, let's dive into the legal details and understand the rationale behind this rule. For instance, a will states that a property should pass to a beneficiary only after 100 years. Such a provision is invalid under the rule. The idea is to ensure property isn't restricted from use or transfer for generations, thus avoiding economic stagnation. Exceptions to the rule. While the rule aims to prevent indefinite restrictions, there are notable exceptions under the Indian law. First, charitable trusts. Properties transferred for charitable or religious purposes are exempt. 2. Personal agreements. Certain personal contracts don't fall under the ambit of the rule. 3. Contingent transfers. If the vesting depends on a contingency that might occur within the permissible period, the rule doesn't apply. These exceptions play a crucial role in balancing societal needs with individual rights. Let's see how they work in practice. For example, in Rameshwar Baksh Singh versus Balraj Kaur, the court upheld the validity of contingent transfers, emphasizing the importance of aligning with societal needs while respecting legal limits. Key case laws and its implications. Understanding real-life cases help in grasping how this rule operates. Here are two landmark judgments. First, Girjesh Dutt versus Datta Din. The court invalidated a transfer that didn't comply with the time limit prescribed under the rule. 2. Ram Nivas versus Nanku. This case highlighted how the rule ensures fairness and economic fluidity in property transactions. These judgments underline how courts interpret and enforce the rule against perpetuity and maintain legal consistency and economic balance. If you are facing issues with property tied up indefinitely, here is what you can do. First, consult a lawyer. Seek legal advice to understand your rights and remedies. 2. Examine the document. Check the clauses in the transfer deed or will for compliance with Section 14. 3. File a case. If needed, challenge the validity of the transfer in court. Knowing your rights is crucial to resolving disputes effectively. Let's break down the steps you can take. For instance, if you inherit property under unclear conditions, consulting a property law expert can clarify the legal standing and options available to you. Recent judgments and legislative discussions continue to shape the application of the rule against perpetuity. For example, in 2023, the Delhi High Court emphasized the importance of this rule in preserving property rights while ensuring societal benefits. Such rulings highlight the evolving interpretation of the law in modern contexts. Staying updated on recent developments is essential to understanding how the rule is applied today. The rule against perpetuity may seem complex at first, but it plays a vital role in ensuring fair and efficient property transactions. Understanding its basics, exceptions, and implications empowers you to navigate property laws effectively. Let's recap the points that we have discussed. First, the rule against perpetuity limits indefinite property control. 2. Governed by Section 14 of the Transfer of Property Act of 1882. 3. Key exceptions include charitable trust and contingent transfers. 4. Landmark cases like Girjesh Dutt vs. Datta Din demonstrate its practical application. 5. Recent updates reflect its relevance in modern property law. If you found this explanation helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon for regular updates on legal topics explained simply. Have questions? Drop them in the comments and we'll address them in the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.